Everybody is talking about Cubase 14, right? And I also have made a review already. But now I need to test the new effects furthermore because there are some things I didn't understand in the first place. Like the separate volume fader, the underwater effect and the polymetric feature in the pattern editor. And I also want to use the pattern editor not for the drum machine, but as a sequencer. Well, let's find out how practical that is. But before we start, welcome to the Ground Noise. Make sure to leave a comment, because some of the comments under my Cubase 14 review actually inspired me for this video. This is how it works. Thank you very much for your feedback. But now let's get started with the project. This time I want to start with a deep drone, and for that I need a new instrument, and I choose Hellion Sonic and the Flux synthesizer in Hellion Sonic, which is also made by Steinberg. Yeah, and I simply go for the Coppermine preset. Just playing around with the filter cutoff, that's all. And this is actually the first time I use the Flux synthesizer. Never used it before. Okay, how does it sound? Yeah, nice, but also a little bit boring, I think. But maybe we can use the new step modulator to, spice it up a little bit. I go for eighth notes, and then I just draw some things here in the window. Okay, now connect it with the filter cutoff. I need a little bit more. Here we go. I make it quieter. It's okay so far. I make it just quieter so that we have more headroom. And now I want to go to the next instrument because we can fine-tune everything later on. And I go for the Vital synthesizer, but I also create a pattern event because I want to try to use this pattern editor as a sequencer. And this is kind of tricky and a little bit not really good, let me say it like this, because there is no way, not that I know of, that we can set up a scale or something. No, we have to set up every single note manually. That's not a big deal, okay? It just takes time and it's not really intuitive and fun. I want to go for a C minor scale. You see the procedure. Okay, C3 and the next note, okay. And the F and then the G. Okay, so let's continue. I'm ready here and I have random notes going on. Oh, very nice. Maybe it's time to make an actual sound in Vital. Very easy. That's pretty great in Vital. You can make a cool sound in no time. There is nothing special going on. This project here is just a little test run, We don't want to save the world. Okay, envelope and... Oh, nice. Let's add a filter. Just the normal things. Maybe we can modulate the cutoff as well. Okay. Well. Yeah. I tried the random function a couple of times and I'm absolutely not satisfied. So I start to write the notes manually for my sequence here. This process is pretty cool, no problem, you know, very nice. And also we want to create some variations. We can make different patterns. That's what I want to try out. How easy is it to do? Yeah, and I have my first variation. Let's duplicate the pattern. It's pattern 2 now, and I want to change that one note here. Okay. Of course, I need to change the parts as well. Let's copy that and switch to 2. Cool. Maybe now the first pattern again, and then I will create another pattern, duplicate the second one and change some notes here and there. All right. And then copy the parts. And this is pretty cool, very easy, working with the parts. In a sequencer, okay, maybe I need more practice, but I'm not really sure if this is much better than working with a normal MIDI part for such a sequence that you have in mind. Okay, you can use the randomizers, maybe you're lucky. There are more settings how you can set up the randomizer, but I'm not trying that today. I just reduced the tempo of the project because now I want to also test the new studio delay. Always lower the feedback. Wow, this is cool. The flanger. Okay, a little bit of distortion. And now bring down the mix and mix it back in. Cool, I like it. And this is now the new volume plugin. And I had no clue what to do with it. And of course, some of my viewers explained it to me. Thank you very much again. So you can basically modulate the volume of a track without touching the track's fader. I'm going for a very slow fade in and fade out. And one reason for my confusion was that for such things, so far I only used the chopper plugin in Cubase, which is pretty great for fast tremolo effects and something. And I thought, why going for another method, but for this slow movement here, it's pretty cool, I think. And for the tempo of the LFO, I go for a really slow tempo. This is an odd number, like 7 bars. So that's different every round, okay? I hope that makes sense. Maybe I can also try 6. So the modulation loop is 6 bars long and the actual loop is 8 bars long, and both things start overlapping, creating polymetric effect. And we will talk about polymetric things, especially in the drum machine, in the new drum machine here in Cubase 14, a little later in this video. But now I want to continue with the randomizer in the Vital synthesizer. Yeah, stereo mode. This is cool. Now it's coming back. And it's time for the drum part. I choose the drum machine, which is pretty cool, and I'm just looking for a cool preset or something before I start making my own sounds here. Create a pattern, just randomize it. Yes, I'm on the musical randomization. Maybe another sound? Oh wow, I like that. Sounds a little bit Peter Gabriel-ish. Don't you think? Kiss that frog. Yeah, tweaking around. There is one that I don't like. Ah, it's the cymbal, the crash cymbal. Yes. That can go. You might think that this process is a bit annoying and boring, but it isn't. It's kind of fun to tweak around with the pattern, the random pattern, and make them a little bit straighter maybe, and also find out about all the instruments. This preset here is filled with drum instruments, and this makes it kind of complicated to spot all the different things. But now I also want to create different patterns, just change very little things so that we have a bit more variations. Just make a copy and make it shorter. This is a nice form for a drum part, like a 4-bar pattern. But the last bar is always a variation, and we create 2 different variations. And this is always a nice recipe to create a drum part. Now let me make tiny little changes. Okay, and also in the third pattern, I cannot decide what, yeah, some bass drum strokes, and it doesn't matter much for this little project here. So what do we have? Sometimes I have problems in Cubase to apply the colors to the parts, but that doesn't matter. Here is now the underwater effect, and I'm playing around with it, you know. And now I try to create some effects with the equalizer. Okay, but I'm not really excited about the underwater effect, I must say. And this is what I now created. Weird things happening. Nice delay. And now I create very quickly a very simple piano part to fill up the room a little bit. And then we also need a bass part, which I'm recording right now. I'm so sorry for the bad timing, okay? But it's not my fault. I think I blame the ASIO driver I have to use here in order to record the video. It's always a bit difficult to catch the audio from a DAW and record it in another program like OBS Studio. So I use the inbuilt Steinberg or Cubase inbuilt ASIO driver, which has a huge latency, which is a bit embarrassing since I use many other drivers from third-party companies which are much faster. So the Cubase thing is like 30 milliseconds and my other ones are like 3 or 4 milliseconds. I don't know how that's possible. Okay, better let's continue. Now I want to make the bass sound darker, you know. It comes from the Retrologue Disco Groover preset here. And now I want to add another studio delay to the bass part, believe it or not. It's cool. I really like this delay. Wow. And again, mix it in. And what about a little bit of shimmer reverb on the bass as well? Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, make it dark. I always check the output level. When there are red numbers, it's not okay. I always do that. Not only in this project here. It's kind of a routine to check for red numbers. Good, now I want to tweak the first part, the deep drone part, and I changed the step modulator. It needs bigger values It's a bit quiet now. But more importantly is that we check out the polymetric feature in the pattern editor here in the sequencer. Polymetric, yeah, you can change single lines, the length of single lines. Like the second line I go for 12, which is then 3 quarter notes long, while the rest is 4 quarter notes long, and that line gets played, and when it reaches the 12 steps it jumps back immediately, and so we create an overlapping polyrhythmic, polymetric, however you call it, rhythm, which is super interesting. You can see it in the second line, for example. Whoops. Now it's pattern 2 and go. So 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You see? Yeah, you can go for really weird numbers, that doesn't matter. It's the same feature that we already know from the sequencer in Arturia Pigments, which has also a polymetrical functionality. And I'm really glad that we can do it in the pattern sequencer here in Cubase now as well. Alright, let me summarize what we learned today. The underwhelming filter is kind of underwater. The polymetrical feature in the pattern editor is great if you know what you're doing, but using the pattern editor as a melodic sequencer is so la la. I hope for more features in the future, because working with sequencers can be big fun. This one, not so much. But the extra volume fader is cool, and the studio delay and shimmer reverb are great additions as well. I still need to check out the new audio editing tools, but for now, I hope you enjoyed this video. Then like and subscribe, and also check out the super thanks button that is now available on my channel. So long, my name is Markus. I thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you soon in the next one.